breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, an early morning crash. A driver is dead after this car crash in Granville County. What we've learned from the scene.
And we're waking up to some light showers on the radar. I'll let you know when this rain could affect your day.
And the WRAL Storm Tracker is giving us a live look at the damp roads, what you need to know before you head out the door this morning. And a student mourned. A teenager is dead. Another is charged with a DWI after a crash in Holly Springs. The support classmates are getting today as they return to class. It will be a rough Monday for the folks at Holly Springs High School. We'll walk you through that and all you need to know on this Monday morning. It is 4:30. We're glad you're up with us. Boy, that weekend went by fast. And this morning, Elizabeth, when I was driving into work, saw something that hadn't seen for a while, and that would be damp roads because of that light patchy rain out there.
We definitely need this rain. Here's a live look at Dual Doppler 5000 radar. A lot of it right now is up near the Virginia line or over there in eastern North Carolina. But we do have some patchy showers, and this rain will intensify as we get through the late afternoon and into the evening and overnight tonight. It's likely to be heavier this time tomorrow than it is right now. We take a look at Futurecast, and you can see it begins to taper off a little bit closer to lunchtime, but then by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we start to see it back to our west. By the time we get to the evening, notice we have a lot more coverage, and then more of it comes in overnight. It's going to make for some good sleeping weather. That's going to be midnight, 2 a.m., and then we'll push it on ahead to tomorrow morning. And there's 8 o'clock in the morning. So a lot more rain likely tonight and into the day tomorrow. And then we may see another wave again on Wednesday. So this morning, it's just a 20% chance. By the evening commute, 50, and then 80 to 90% overnight tonight. We are looking at some gusty winds potentially with this, and definitely right now we're gusting to 17 in Goldsboro. It's a little bit damp out there, as Renee said, around the triangle. 50 degrees is our current temperature, 48 in Roxborough, 52 in Fayetteville, and hour by hour, it is going to be one of the coolest days we've seen so far this fall, with highs only in the upper 50s.
And as Elizabeth just showed us, it is a damp start for us this morning in the Triangle, with more rain coming in the afternoon. Kelsey Coffey is on the road from the WRAL Storm Tracker this morning. Kelsey, what are you seeing out there?
Hey, Renee, we're seeing some damp roads, something that we haven't seen in a while here in the Storm Tracker. So we'll go ahead and give you a live look now at conditions on the Beltline. It looks like we're coming up on the Crabtree Valley exit here. But just as far as your morning commute, you see that there's a few just raindrops there on the windshield. But expect to see damp roads. Slow down. Give yourself a little bit of extra time. But the rain that we're seeing right now is not really anything that could impact your visibility. Of course, these damp roads are a result from that light rain overnight. So just be careful out there. But there really isn't any threat of flooding or hydroplaning. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Wake County.
We are following more breaking news. A person is dead after a crash in Granville County. You're looking at video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. This was from Hester Road near Brogden Road. The crash happened around 1 this morning. Highway Patrol says the driver drove into a ditch and was ejected from the vehicle. The road is back open. Investigators have not yet released the name of the victim. We're also trying to learn more about the cause of a crash near Raleigh. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows the scene on Bashford Road near Hillsborough Street. This was around 2 in the morning. Deputies and police were investigating. You can see damage to the front end of the vehicle. We've reached out to Raleigh Police and the Wake County Sheriff's Office for more information. Today, students at Holly Springs High School are mourning the death of a classmate. A 14-year-old student died in a crash Sunday morning. A 16-year-old driver is charged with DWI in that crash. WRAL's Laura Levine is live in Holly Springs this morning. And Laura, students will have extra support on campus today.
Renee, this is a tragic situation for all of those involved. Right now here at Holly Springs today, we know the principal says that they will have more staff and more support for students as they're walking into these classroom buildings today after losing one of their students, a 14-year-old, about 24 hours ago here. So the 14-year-old was riding a bike just before 2 Sunday morning when he was struck by a car on Avon Ferry Road near Holly Meadow Drive. Police say that he died at that scene. 16-year-old Ashton Rolfs was arrested yesterday, charged with DWI, driving after consuming alcohol under 21 years old, and a driver's permit time limit violation. Documents also show officers administered a breath test, finding his BAC at 0.11. Now, police said Ralphs was driving a 2021 Honda Passport. When they arrived, they discovered that a 2008 Honda Civic was also hit head-on by Ralphs after the teenage bicyclist was struck. The driver of the Honda Civic is 19-year-old Brandon Russell. We were able to speak with his mother late last night, and she confirmed that Brandon is still in the hospital in critical condition. As for some of the students and supports here at the school today, we're going to continue to follow the latest from this investigation. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Holly Springs.
Starting tonight, road and lane closures will start along Rock Quarry Road in Raleigh as part of the NC 540 expansion project. Here's the stretch we're talking about. Rock Quarry Road between Auburn-Knightdale Road and Old Bauckham Road. It will close nightly, Monday through Friday this week. It will start tonight. It will be from 10 to 6 a.m. every day this week. This final section of NC 540 is the culmination of a massive road construction project that, as we all know, has been decades in the making.
We've got a existing water line and sewer line that needs to be relocated with the project, and that those relocations require us to close Rock Quarry Road. We're excited for all the citizens of Raleigh to be able to have this loop complete around and be able to drive on this facility in late 2028.
As with other recently completed sections of 540, this new stretch will be a toll road. No arrests have been made after a mass shooting in Robeson County that killed 2 people and injured 11. This happened on Dixon Drive near Maxton around 1:30 Saturday morning. The sheriff's office says several people fired shots at a Halloween party. 16-year-old Nehemiah Locklear and 48-year-old Jesse Locklear Jr. died. The 11 injured range in age from 17 to 43 years old. At last check, 1 person had life-threatening injuries. We've reached out to find out if deputies have any person of interest. The man accused in a series of car break-ins outside Lenovo Center is due in court today. 15 cars were broken into during the NBA Youngboy concert Friday night. Police arrested 33-year-old Dontarius Barrett. He faces charges including breaking and entering and possession of a stolen firearm. Right now, President Donald Trump is in Japan. He arrived there within the last hour. He will be meeting Japan's new prime minister today. Later this week, Trump will sit down with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. They are expected to reach a deal to stop a 100% U.S. tariff on Chinese goods. The two leaders will sit down Thursday in South Korea on the final leg of Trump's 3-country tour of Asia. It will be their first face-to-face meeting since Trump won re-election. Trump previewed what he hopes to achieve with the meeting.
Complete deal. I want our farmers to be taken care of, and he wants things also. We're going to be talking about fentanyl, of course. I think we have a really good chance of making a very comprehensive deal.
Trump and Xi are also expected to finalize a deal to allow TikTok's U.S. operations to continue. Last month, the White House announced an American investor group would operate the app's algorithm in the U.S. A Delaware man is facing charges after a deadly shooting at a Pennsylvania university. Police say Zacchaeus Morgan Thompson is charged with carrying a concealed firearm without a license. The shooting happened Saturday night at the Lincoln University's International Cultural Center during a homecoming weekend event. A 25-year-old man died after he was shot in the head. 6 others were hurt. They are expected to be okay. The Chester County Attorney General says investigators believe there were multiple shooters.
We are also going to reiterate what we said last night, right? That we're operating under the belief that the shooter or shooters in this case did not come here with a specific design to cause a mass casualty event. We believe they would have operated differently.
Investigators say they can't confirm yet whether the gun found on Morgan Thompson was used in the shooting. One of the shooting victims is a student at the university. One is an alumni. The university has suspended class today. 2 people are dead after a shooting in western South Carolina. This happened at a gas station in North Augusta yesterday afternoon. Police say they were responding to a call in the area. They found a person with a gun in a parking lot. An investigation revealed 2 people were shot and killed before police arrived. The shooter was taken to the hospital. Police are still trying to determine a motive. A person was hit and killed on a highway in Goldsboro over the weekend. The crash happened around 8 Saturday night on US 70. That person was taken to the hospital where he later died. Goldsboro police say they do not believe the driver was impaired. Local health providers are coming together to make sure uninsured women can get the preventative care they need to detect breast cancer. WakeMed, Raleigh Radiology, and Siemens Healthineers are teaming up for the 4th year to provide 3D mammogram screenings. Women over 40 can receive a mammogram through the mobile mammography bus. It's parked at WakeMed's Raleigh Medical Park on Sunnybrook Road. The bus will be there Monday through Thursday this week from 11 until 7. Appointments are full, but there will be some space for walk-ins. Last year, nearly 400 women got the potentially life-saving screenings. The NBA is kicking off new programming starting tomorrow on NBC. Coast to Coast will air weekly doubleheaders on Tuesday nights. Tomorrow, the Milwaukee Bucks will host the New York Knicks, and that game starts at 8 p.m. Then after that, the Los Angeles Clippers will take on the Golden State Warriors. That game tips off at 11 p.m. right here on WRAL. 441, life turned upside down. A woman's life changed after finding out a Duke doctor is her real father. How she's adjusting to the shocking discovery. And 2 suspects arrested. French police have arrested some people they believe may have robbed the Louvre. The ongoing search for the $1 million jewels. And we'll give you a live look at Fenton and Cary. Some much needed rain is in the forecast this week. We have some light patchy rain across the viewing area right now. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner shows you the 2 systems responsible.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Overnight crashes. The WRAL breaking news tracker at 2 different scenes early this morning, one of which was deadly. What we're trying to learn from law enforcement.
And we have some light patchy rain this morning. I'll let you know if it will affect your commute and just how many days in a row we'll see some rain.
And a student killed in a crash. A teen is dead and another is charged with a DWI in Holly Springs. How Holly Springs High School is responding to the tragedy as kids return to class today. That is just one of the major stories we're following for you as we help you get ready on this Monday morning. We did have some light patchy rain out there. It's starting to taper off. Good morning, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Levingood. Hopefully you had a restful weekend, but yes, the rain was definitely needed. Just how much we're going to be getting this week, that is what meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has been tracking.
And we're going to see days of rain today, tomorrow, really all the way through Thursday, at least on and off. We don't have a whole lot falling in the triangle right now, but we did have some showers overnight. So you're going to run into some damp conditions almost anywhere. We are seeing some light patchy rain up to the north, say along the I-85 corridor, heading up into Virginia, and then over around Roanoke Rapids. But we'll see more of this later today. It's just a 20% chance this morning. And then later this afternoon, it goes from 40 to 50% during the evening commute. And it looks like a wet night tonight and a pretty wet day tomorrow as well. We take a live look at downtown Raleigh. It's just a little bit damp as we take a look from our Jimmy V camera down Fayetteville Street. It's 50 degrees right now, so it's not terribly cold, but our temperatures just aren't going to climb much. We'll be in the mid-50s at lunchtime and upper 50s this afternoon. So one of the coldest days that we've seen so far this fall season. Hurricane Melissa continues to be troubling. It's a Category 5 storm right now. It is likely to make landfall early tomorrow morning there in Jamaica and cause catastrophic damage, and then more damage for Cuba and parts of the Bahamas. We'll talk about exactly what we're expecting there coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, at 6:01, we're going to start outside, give our viewers a live look at I-40 and Wade Avenue. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us. Traffic beginning to pick up just a bit, but we're not seeing any delays on any of our major routes coming into the capital city. I mean, 1 minute? Come on, 1 minute's not going to make you late. So really delay-free. Similarly, in Durham, we're not seeing any slowdowns on those major routes heading into Durham. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. Let's get back to that breaking news we've been following. A person is dead after a crash in Granville County. What you're seeing here is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker on Hester Road near Brogden Road. This happened around 1 o'clock this morning. State Highway Patrol says the driver drove into a ditch and then was thrown from the vehicle. The road is back open, and investigators have not yet released the name of the victim.
And Chris, we're also trying to learn more about the cause of a crash near Raleigh. Video from the WRAL breaking news tracker shows a scene on Bashford Road. This is near Hillsborough Street around 2 o'clock this morning. Deputies and police were investigating. You could see damage to the front end of the vehicle, and it was lightly raining at the time. We've reached out to Raleigh Police and the Wake County Sheriff's Office for additional information.
Students at Holly Springs High School returned to class after one of their classmates was killed in a crash over the weekend. The 14-year-old was riding his bike early yesterday morning when he was killed, and a 16-year-old driver is charged with DWI in that crash. Let's bring in Laura Levine. She's live in Holly Springs this morning. Laura, students will have extra support on campus today because of this.
Chris, students are returning back to the classroom here today at Holly Springs High School with heavy hearts after losing one of their classmates over the weekend. The principal stating that they will have more resources and counselors available to help students cope with this loss. Now, the 14-year-old was riding a bike just before 2 Sunday morning when he was struck by a car on Avon Ferry Road near Holly Meadow Drive. Police say he died at the scene. 16-year-old Ashton Rolfs was arrested yesterday, charged with DWI, driving after consuming alcohol under 21 years old, and a driver's permit time limit violation. Documents also show officers administered a breath test, finding these BAC at 0.11. So police said Ralph was driving a 2021 Honda Passport. When they arrived, the preliminary investigation revealed that a 2008 Honda Civic was also hit head-on by Ralph's after the teenage bicyclist was struck. Now, the driver of the Honda Civic is 19-year-old Brandon Russell. We spoke with Brandon's mother yesterday, and she did confirm that he is in the hospital in critical condition. So many people, so many young people involved in this situation. We'll be sure to cover and continue bringing you updates as we learn more. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Holly Springs.
President Donald Trump is in Japan this morning as part of his tour of Asia, and he arrived there just a few hours ago. He's going to be meeting with Japan's new prime minister. Trump is also expected to finalize a trade deal this week with China. This would prevent a 100% tariff on Chinese imports from taking effect. The framework of that deal puts a stop to the export of the chemicals used to make fentanyl, and China could start buying U.S. soybeans again. Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping are expected to meet in South Korea on Thursday.
The sale of TikTok could be finalized this week. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that the U.S. and China agreed on the final details yesterday, but did not share details on the new ownership. This potential agreement comes after President Trump signed an executive order last month to get a deal done.
And here in the WRAL Live Center, speaking of that trade deal with China, stock futures this morning on Wall Street. Look at this. They are in positive territory. Dow futures up 280 points, S&P 500 up about 59, and NASDAQ futures up 321 points. U.S. and China officials really cool tensions over the weekend, really laying the groundwork for a trade deal this week. Earlier this morning, President Trump said the U.S. and China, quote, will come away with a deal. He says, I have a lot of respect for President Xi, and I think we are going to come away with a deal.
No arrests have been made after a mass shooting in Robeson County that killed 2 people and injured 11 people. This happened on Dixon Drive near Maxton around 1:30 Saturday morning. The sheriff's office says multiple people fired shots at a Halloween party, and 16-year-old Nehemiah Locklear and 48-year-old Jesse Locklear Jr. died. The 11 people injured range in age from 17 to 43 years old. At last check, one person did have life-threatening injuries. We've reached out to find out if deputies have any person of interest.
The man accused in a series of car break-ins outside Lenovo Center in Raleigh is due in court today. 15 cars were broken into during the NBA Youngboy concert Friday night. Police arrested 33-year-old Dontarius Barrett. He faces charges including breaking and entering and possession of a stolen firearm. Happening today, nightly road and lane closures will start in Raleigh as part of the NC 540 expansion project. Phase 1, the 18-mile stretch shaded in yellow on this map that we hope to show you, has already been complete. There it is. And now NCDOT is working on Phase 2. We're talking about the 10-mile stretch shaded in orange on the right side of your screen. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live for us this morning. Kelsey, this project has been years in the making, and it's still years from being completed. But slowly but surely, we're getting there.
Yes, Renee, decades in the making here. So those road closures and lane closures will start tonight here along Rock Quarry Road. So you can see that reminder for drivers there that the road closures will be starting tonight at 10. This is all a part of the 540 expansion project. Here's a look at the stretch that they're going to be closing. So this closure impacts Rock Quarry Road between Auburn, Knightdale Road and Old Balcombe Road. The road will close every night this week until Friday from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. This final section of 540 is the culmination of a massive road construction project that's been decades in the making.
We're excited for all the citizens of Raleigh to be able to have this loop complete around and be able to drive on this facility in late 2028.
And this new section that they're working on here will become a toll road, just like some of the other completed sections of 540. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
2 men are expected to be in court today after a weekend shooting in Raleigh. And 20-year-old Gabriel Hester and 24-year-old Kemarcus Bryan. These are the two people I'm talking about. They're facing charges including assault with a deadly weapon, inflicting serious injury, and discharging a firearm into an occupied vehicle. The shootings happened on Trayrick Road early yesterday morning. Police found a victim on New Bern Avenue in a car that left the scene there. He was taken to the hospital, and a second victim walked to Wake Med. Both are expected to recover, though.
2 women are recovering this morning after being shot at a party near North Carolina Central. This happened near the intersection of Pico Avenue and Otis Street in Durham. Police say both women were found at separate locations south of the party. They were then taken to the hospital. They are expected to be okay. Police say the victims were not NC Central students.
Happening today, the governor's highway safety program is kicking off its Halloween Booze It and Lose It campaign. Increased patrols will start today and then run through Sunday. The goal is to minimize the number of impaired drivers on the road. They also want to inform drivers about the risks of driving while under the influence.
Also happening today, the state superintendent will be in Robeson County to talk about the new North Carolina Schools Strategic Plan. State Superintendent Mo Green will be giving a presentation on how parents and educators can get involved in this 5-year plan. The initiative was launched back in August. Some highlights of the plan include community engagement, career development for students, and teacher recruiting. Today's presentation will be at the Lumberton High School Auditorium at 6 tonight. It is open to the public.
Your time is 6:09. The hunt for jewel thieves. Police in France have arrested 2 suspects in the Louvre heist. We've got more on the manhunt for the rest of the suspects and the missing jewelry.
Rally for Change. A gathering at the state capitol raises awareness for domestic violence survivors. The legislation they are calling on lawmakers to push to the governor's desk.
And a few light showers this morning, but later this afternoon, the rain picks up in intensity and in coverage. I'll show you how that could affect your evening commute coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13, we are tracking Melissa, which is a huge monster of a storm. It's a Category 5. You can see the well-defined eye and just how huge it is. This is the island of Jamaica, and this storm is probably 3 times the size of that island, and it is still likely to make landfall as a Category 5 storm there. It's moving very slowly with winds at 160 miles per hour right now. Here's a look at that forecast path. You can see by early tomorrow morning, it's making landfall there in Jamaica with devastating impacts. We're talking about extreme winds as well as landslides, heavy rain, just a really devastating kind of experience there. And then eastern Cuba at Cat 3, and then the Bahamas at Cat 2, and then it moves on out into the Atlantic off the coast of the U.S. with very little to any impact. From Haiti to Jamaica, as much as 30 inches of rain, as much as a foot in Cuba. The National Weather Service started several days ago calling this catastrophic, just something pretty hard to watch, Ken.
Absolutely difficult to watch, Elizabeth. Thank you. Listen, really, traffic is beginning to pick up on that southern loop of the Beltline. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. And really and truly no delays whatsoever, even though traffic is beginning to pick up. If you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, no delays between Highway 36 and the Beltline. If you're listening to us on the radio at 101.5 HD3, we thank you very much. If you're getting ready to head into the car, tune us in. We'll keep you updated all morning long.
French police are searching for the remaining suspects in the Louvre jewelry heist today. Police arrested 2 of the 4 suspects in last week's robbery that lasted just 7 minutes. Prosecutors say that one of the men was arrested at the airport as he was preparing to leave the country. Investigators are still trying to track down the remaining suspects and recover the missing jewelry valued at more than $100 million.
The U.S. Navy is investigating 2 separate aircraft crashes. All crewmen were safely recovered in the crashes involving a Seahawk helicopter and a Super Hornet fighter jet. The U.S. Pacific Fleet says the helicopter went down in the South China Sea during routine operations. And then about 30 minutes later, the fighter also went down in the South China Sea. All crew members are reported to be safe. Both aircraft were based off the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. The Navy has not released any details about what may have caused the crashes.
We got a recall alert to tell you about this morning. Hormel Foods is recalling millions of pounds of chicken over possible contamination. The Department of Agriculture says this affects the company's ready-to-eat frozen chicken products, mainly the fire-braised thigh and breast meat. The recalled products were sold to hotels and restaurants between February 10th and September 19th of this year. The USDA says these products could have metal in them, but no incidents of illnesses have been reported, at least not yet. Hormel is encouraging people to throw out the chicken immediately if you still have it.
Domestic violence survivors are remembering those lost to abuse. Among the people at yesterday's rally at the state capitol, Christy Melvin. She says her estranged husband shot and killed her 3-year-old son, Jesse, then turned the gun on himself, all while on the phone with her. That was 13 years ago. Melvin is pushing for stronger protections in the family court system in a bill called Jesse's Law.
And if you're not properly trained, how can you make a proper decision that's the right decision to protect the people you're making that decision for? I don't want to continue to hear about children being murdered because they're given to their abuser.
Jesse's Law passed in the State House earlier this year. Melvin and others here want state senators to follow suit.
You know, the ACC was once the undisputed king of men's college basketball leagues, and now it's working to regain its luster. WRAL sports investigative reporters found that the league is reforming, and it's doing away with old rivalry games. It's also incentivizing wins against teams in other conferences. That way, more ACC teams get into the NCAA tournament. You can read up on our in-depth report, and that is available at WRAL.com.
Taking another live look at Jamaica this morning as we track the impacts there from Hurricane Melissa. Melissa is currently a powerful Cat 5 storm. Parts of the Dominican Republic have already dealt with torrential rain and flooding. And Jamaica's prime minister is urging people to take all the measures necessary to protect themselves. And Elizabeth, I was just thinking how so far the hurricane season, there has not been a direct hit on anything, not even for Florida or any other populated areas. But now Jamaica's got this monster storm headed there.
Yeah, it's so sad. You know, if it were the United States, people could move inland. You know, from Jamaica, there's nowhere to go. The storm is going to be 2 or 3 times the size of that island. So there's really just not going to be anywhere for people to go at this point. So it's very sad to watch. We'll continue to follow it. Of course, that landfall could happen late tonight, early tomorrow morning. For us, we're looking at some light patchy showers, mostly in our northeastern counties. We had a wave of rain overnight, so you may run into some damp conditions on the road, but there's not much falling in our viewing area except up to the northeast. Here's a look at the big picture. As we get through the next 24 hours, the low that's sitting along the Gulf Coast will move eastward, and another low will develop here along the coast. That's going to bring us heavier rain tonight and into the day tomorrow, with the potential for some coastal impacts. Of course, we've seen that multiple times this year. We've had, I think, up to well over 10 homes fall into the ocean along Hatteras Island. And then another low dives in from the Rockies across the country, and that moves in here late Wednesday and into Thursday. So we have 2 different systems that are going to be affecting us this week, and the rain doesn't really start to taper off until late Tuesday. This is today for us. A few isolated showers this morning. Notice we get a nice break during the middle of the day. It'll remain cloudy and cool, but then as we get through this evening, we'll start to see that low pressure system developing off the coast, and that will bring us some steady to heavy rain overnight tonight and for much of the day tomorrow. We'll pause it here at 8 a.m. It's going to be a wet commute for tomorrow, and the rain is likely to start to taper off later in the afternoon. Tomorrow is going to be a much wetter day than today. How much rain are we talking about total? We'll likely end up with 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Some of that rainfall may be a little bit heavier back into the mountains, and of course along the coast as much as 2 inches there. This is a look at some of our Outer Banks impacts. We could see heavy surf as much as 7 to 10 feet, 1 to 3 feet of inundation, and we know what that means. That means that we'll have overwash on Highway 12 and possibly more homes falling in, winds gusting up to 50 miles per hour. So, we're just kind of on repeat on this. Here's something that we haven't seen yet. On Thursday, as the system pulls away, we could see some snow in the mountains right before Halloween, and so that's exciting. In Sanford, we have some damp roads right now. Our temperature today will be chilly. As a matter of fact, highs will be in the 50s all the way through Wednesday. Right now, Halloween is looking pretty good. We'll be back to some dry conditions. Ken, I know you're happy to hear that.
Very much so, and the kids don't have to cover their costumes. Listen, we got a couple incidents on our live traffic map this morning, but this one I want to bring your attention to because it's I-40 eastbound near the Highway 86 interchange there in Orange County. You can see the backups that it's causing there. I'll keep an eye on that to let you know any alternate routes that might help you out this morning if this is I-40 eastbound part of your morning commute. But really and truly, as far as other major routes coming into the capital city, we're just looking at a 1-minute delay coming in from Nidale on I-87. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. Your time is 6:20 this morning. Travel plans. As the holidays approach, 5 on your side will share the important dates you need to know about for the best deals.
Wrapping up the fair, we're getting a better picture of this year's attendance, how the numbers compare to last year.
Just a little reminder, if you ever see some breaking news, maybe you have a story tip or video or pictures of severe weather where you are, report it to us at WRAL.com/report it.
Just like that, the 2025 North Carolina State Fair has come to a close, and we have to wait a whole other year. We're waiting for new data this morning about the final attendance numbers. The North Carolina Department of Agriculture shows roughly 850,000 people have attended this year so far. Around 998,000 people attended last year. The fair's director says a number of reasons play a role in ticket sales.
Every year there are external factors that impact attendance. There may be 2 or 3 things that impact it 1% each, but 850,000 people already have enjoyed this. That's a huge success. By far the largest event in North Carolina.
And we'll get Sunday's numbers today. Organizers say the fair's busiest day so far was this past Saturday, 116,000 people in attendance.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
So a big reveal at the end of the State Fair and a surprise announcement from Nelly Furtado.
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring in Ken Smith now with What's Trending. What's up, Ken?
Yeah, let's start with this classic that we love in the fall. We're talking about the State Fair, of course. Right now, we're getting an even closer look at this year's pumpkin winner. The winner weighing in at 2,224.5 pounds. There you see crews cutting into that pumpkin to harvest the seeds for next year's competition.
Look at that massive piece. You see him in that video? He's like holding it with both arms. It's just a massive thing. But that's the one thing I missed out on seeing the State Fair was this display. I saw the cooking competition, but not this. Pretty cool.
It's so worth seeing, though, especially when you stand right next to it.
Exactly.
They're just so giant.
Oh, the kids were like amazed by all those huge pumpkins. So singer Nelly Furtado is stepping away from performing, and it's unclear if she will return. The 46-year-old making the announcement on social media over the weekend. She says she plans to pursue other creative outlets, but did not provide specifics.
And Furtado released a new album just last year, her first one in 7 years. So it sounds like that might be the last. You know, it's been 25 years since she released her first album, Whoa, Nelly.
Yeah, she's been in the game a while.
She has. Yeah. And good for her. She wants to try something new, do something different.
Try something a little bit different. I love that. All right. Thanks, Ken. Day of the Dead is this Saturday, but there was an early start to the celebrations this weekend in downtown Raleigh. The crowd enjoyed the sounds and the flavors of this holiday. The Day of the Dead is an opportunity to remember and honor the loved ones who've passed away. It's also a special occasion for new generations to learn about and appreciate these traditions. We time now is 6:26. Deadly crash. Highway Patrol is investigating after they say a driver was thrown from their car this morning. What we know about what led up to that crash.
Teen killed. Students at Holly Springs High School are returning to class today after their classmate died in a weekend crash. How the school is helping after the tragedy.
And our weather pattern is here. We have just a chance of some light rain this morning, but a better chance during the evening commute with some heavier rain overnight. I'll show you how many days in a row it'll be wet.